All right, welcome to Talkin Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Marathon Digital Holdings, stock ticker MARA. Marathon's a Bitcoin mining company. As most of you know, we cover Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel. So if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could smash the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot and it helps get this video out to more people. Lastly, if you're interested, you can join the channel by hitting the join button on the YouTube page. If you don't see a join button, there should be a link below, and if you join, you become a member, and members get some members-only content and a once-a-week members-only live stream. So if you're interested in Bitcoin miners, I would remember to hit that notification bell because November is going to be a gigantic month for news in Bitcoin miners. I think this is going to be the biggest month in news really in the history of Bitcoin miners, so there will be a lot of updates coming, so I'm excited about it. Today, I want to talk about Marathon. Marathon is one of these companies that there's a group of people that seem to love them. There's a group of people that seem to hate them. I report every month on everybody's operational updates. So I've tried to report fairly. You know, they've had a lot of bad months, and it is what it is. And I have been a harsh critic. When they were not doing well, I was pretty vocal about it. But on the other side, I need to give them the credit when credit is due. This month was good. I want to go through their operational update. Let's take a quick look at where they're trading right now. They're trading at $11.23. That puts them at $1.24 billion market cap. This stock is down drastically. This is, however, from a stock performance standpoint, this is the best performing Bitcoin mining stock out of all of the Bitcoin mining stocks over the last 4 months. And that doesn't mean it's performed well. It's just performed better than all the other ones. This is still down to a $1.24 billion market cap. To put that in perspective, if I look at a chart of their market cap over the last 2 years, you'll see that just last November, which was essentially a year ago, this was a $7.5 billion market cap company. So even if I go all the way fast forward, if I just go back to August, which was only a few months ago, this was a $2 billion market cap company. They're now a $1.2 billion market cap company. So you can see, even though they've been the best performer, they've been beat up and they are down significantly just over their August highs, and certainly year to year, they're down drastically. Okay, with all that said, let's look at the operational update because some stuff really happened here for Marathon. Marathon Digital Holdings announces Bitcoin production and mining operations update for October of 2022. So first bullet point, produced a record 615 Bitcoin in October 2022. So I'm going to take a pause. I want to show you what I had to say in last month's video. And now they have started to recover. So I am expecting October of 2022 to be the best month they've ever had from a production standpoint. It really shouldn't be close. So that is going to be important. If they don't break their all-time record, which is only 485, again, I'm expecting more like 600 to 650. So I would be concerned if they don't get to that number. So look for them to get to 600 plus, which would be another nice jump month over month. So I was pretty specific. I was looking for them to be north of 600. They are at 615. So they did what, in my opinion, they said they were going to do. And that is what I've been talking about. I've been waiting for Marathon to start to put some months together in a row where they do what they said they were going to do. They did that in September last month. So 1 month was not enough for me to gain confidence. This is now 2 months in a row. And you can see, I said I was going to feel good about this report if they were at 600 or more, and they are at 615. Despite the fact there was a large increase in difficulty in the network in the month of October, they still managed to get over 600 and hit 615. So the first thing I want to say is this is the second month in a row now that, in my opinion, they've done exactly what they told us they were going to do. So they are now starting to create a track record that is very different from the 10 or 12 months in a row prior to that, where they fell short, sometimes significantly short. In July of this summer, they mined 73 Bitcoin or 74 Bitcoin. So, you know, that was rock bottom for them, but it was all a part of a plan that they were telling us. However, it just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. So I spent the better part of a year, at least 6+ months, being very, very skeptical of Marathon. So I am changing my position, and I gave everybody a heads up last month that if they did what they said, I would start to be positive on Marathon. So I like what I see here. Well, let me go through the rest of the report. Total Bitcoin holdings increased to 11,285 Bitcoin with a fair market value of $231.3 million. So they do have the most Bitcoin on their balance sheet of any Bitcoin mining company. It's not the most self-mined. They did buy about 5,000 of these in January of 2021. But it is the most in total. So just as a note, Hut has the most self-mined Bitcoin. They're well over 8,000, so they've been hodling for years. But Marathon has been hodling for the last 2 years as well. And now their production is picking up. So they're now at 11,285. and they stand a chance at really running that number up. And I think that that is going to be very healthy for their stock. Okay, management commentary. October was the most productive month in Marathon's history, both in terms of hash rate growth and Bitcoin production, said Fred Thiel, Marathon's chairman and CEO. The energization of approximately 32,000 of our miners during the month allowed us to increase our hash rate approximately 84% from the approximately 3.8 exahash per second at September 30th to approximately 7.0 exahash per second on November 1st. So they are now at 7 exahash. This is starting to get on the radar. This is what they've been talking about doing for the last year and a half. It was almost 2 years ago that they announced they were going to get to 13 exahash. They then quickly upped that to 23 exahash, but they spent the better part of a year having trouble making progress. Well, this is progress. Energizing 32,000 Bitcoin mining machines in 1 month, getting up to 7 exahash. This puts them now in a position to lead. By successfully growing our hash rate and maintaining uptime, we were able to produce a record 615 Bitcoin in October. With X19 XPs now being delivered and new facilities under construction, we believe we are well positioned to continue building on our recent momentum to reach 23 exahash per second in 2023. Okay, so now they're saying just 2023. So that gives them all the way to the end of the year. This starts to be a more believable story. This is the other thing. This is a company that was over-promising and under-delivering. Something happened 60 or 90 days ago where they got real, and they have now started to deliver on their promises and set more realistic expectations. So, they were talking about getting to 23 exahash in Q1 of 2023. Now they're just saying in 2023. So this starts to be a more believable story. They have purchase ordered all of those Bitcoin miners. So they have the purchase orders in place. They're getting the deliveries. They still have a massive amount of machines that they hold right now that are not yet energized. So there is more to come. So they're starting to build a story that makes sense to me now versus over the past year where they have just fallen short. Okay, recent highlights. We talked about they produced 615 Bitcoin. As of November 1st, operating mining fleet consisted of approximately 69,000 active miners producing approximately 7.0 exahash. Year to date through October 31st, they've produced 3,197. So their year to date is very low. There's several companies that are ahead of them year to date. However, they now have November and December to post some pretty big numbers and start to catch up. And more importantly, this puts them in a position for 2023 to potentially be the leader in production in the year 2023 out of all the Bitcoin mining companies. Total Bitcoin holdings increased to 11,285 Bitcoin with a fair market value of approximately $231 million as of October 31st. Unrestricted Bitcoin holdings were approximately 3,464 Bitcoin with a fair market value of approximately $71 million. So I did have a member ask me a very good question. What do they mean unrestricted? Because their debt is convertible debt and it's structured at 1%. And so the question was, why are there restricted Bitcoin? Well, the answer is they have a $100 million line of credit, and that line of credit is required to have a 65% loan to value ratio. So to me, if I do the math, it looks like they've used somewhere very close to all $100 million of that line of credit must currently be in use for this much of their Bitcoin to be restricted. So it's restricted, it's held as collateral against their $100 million line of credit. So we'll have to see going forward if they maintain that line of credit. This is the first time they've ran it up to $100 million. At June 30th, that was at $35 million. We're gonna have to see where that goes, but that's the answer as to why so much of their Bitcoin is restricted. It is being held as collateral against their short-term line of credit. Okay, so I just want to look at a few of my charts. This is a chart that I keep on each Bitcoin miner. So this is Marathon's chart, basically from October of last year to October of this year. So you can see they have had a wild ride. They produced 485 Bitcoin in December of 2021. That held as their all-time high until this month. So it was a steady ride down all the way to 73 Bitcoin in the month of July. And later they did say it was 74 Bitcoin, I believe. Either way, that's almost completely shut down of all operations from their perspective. In August, they got things going a little bit. September was the first very encouraging month. We saw 360 Bitcoin mined, still very low compared to what they should be doing. Very shortly, this should be a company mining over 1,000 Bitcoin per month. And then in October, as you saw last month, my personal goal for them, based on my interpretation of what they said, was that they should be mining at least 600 Bitcoin. So they mined 615 Bitcoin, that despite a big increase in the difficulty level. So to me, October is a win for Marathon. So this is now 2 months in a row that I feel like Marathon has done exactly what they said they were going to do. If they start to become this company, there's a reason their stock is outpacing all the rest of the stocks. So for as frustrating as that 10-month period was, they were missing on a monthly basis month after month after month, and it seemed to be excuse after excuse. But they have now turned this situation around. I'm turning optimistic on this company. I do not own any shares of Marathon. And again, this is not financial advice. I can't tell you to buy this stock or sell this stock. You guys got to do your own due diligence and decide what you feel about the price valuation of this company. So October was their all-time record as a company with 615 Bitcoin mined. I expect them to break that record in November, and I expect them to break that record again in December. So that's my expectation for the rest of the year. I think they're going to achieve that, so we'll check in on them obviously next month. I just want to show this chart because I think this also puts things into perspective. This is their Bitcoin mined per quarter. So you can see the Q3 of 2021, they mined 1,252 Bitcoin. Q1 of 2022 was almost exactly the same, 1,259 Bitcoin. They mined 7 more Bitcoin in Q1 of 2022 than in Q3 of 2021. So not much progress there, but it got worse. It got much worse. It went down to 707 in the second quarter of 2022 and 617 in the third quarter of 2022. So to put that in perspective, they just mined 615 in the month of October. So they just basically equaled their entire previous quarter in 1 month. So you can see this is a company that has changed their trajectory big time. Okay, so I just want to take a look at the charts real quick. Let's take big picture. This is Marathon on the 1 week time frame and just take a look at what happened to them over time. From their high a year ago, again, this was when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. Marathon also hit its all-time high. They hit their low in June of 2022. Again, that's when Bitcoin hit its low for the year 2021 and 2022. So Marathon was down over 93%, almost 94% off of its highs at that time. So if we go to where they are today, they're still down over 86% from their all-time highs. So I want to zoom in and take a closer look. Okay, here's Marathon on the 1-day time frame. They traded at $5.22. This was an $83 stock last November. So again, we saw this was a drastic pullback. Now, they had a gigantic run up. There was a very nice relief rally. Bitcoin got up to about $25,000. So Bitcoin's at around $20,000 right now. So that's really not that far out of reach. And you can see in that small relief rally, Marathon was up 254%. And that was really just in the course of about a month and a half. So I show that just to explain this is how fast and explosive these stocks can be, both to the upside and the downside. For most Bitcoin miner holders, we have been feeling the downside of this. They are a leveraged play on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin miners. And so there has been a lot of pain. I think the pain has pretty much peaked right now. There's a lot of people that have already given up. I think there's a lot of people considering giving up right now. But I just want to show this run because this literally just happened this summer. This was a 250+% increase in the price of their stock in a month. So these moves can happen. Now, since that time, remember, July was the worst month they ever had operationally. So since that time, they're almost 10 times the production they were back in July compared to October. So, and their exahash rate has increased drastically with more to come. So this is a company that's growing very, very fast. If Bitcoin gets any amount of healthy at all, I really expect Marathon to continue to go up from here in a fairly dramatic way. So to get back to its highs from August, that's about a 66% increase. So on a short-term basis, if Bitcoin by any chance was to have that rally that I've been hoping for the last month, and make a run at even, 23 to 25,000, I think Marathon will probably get back to that August high. Again, that's my opinion. It's not financial advice, so you guys have to make your own risk-reward analysis. But I think long-term, Marathon stands a chance of getting to much, much higher numbers. So that depends on the health of Bitcoin. But if Marathon can keep sticking to their plan, if they start having monthly operational updates where they did what they said they were going to do instead of overpromise and underdeliver, all they need to do is just deliver on their promises. They don't need to beat them, just deliver on them. So if they can do that, I think there's an awful lot of upside left in this stock, and I do think they stand a chance really at being the largest Bitcoin mining company out of all the Bitcoin mining companies traded in North America. And at the moment, that's about 25 companies, although I think that number is going to dwindle over time here. And we're going to get a lot of that news in November. So that's where I'm going to leave you, where I started you. There's an awful lot of Bitcoin mining news that's going to happen in November. So stay tuned. Remember to hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and please smash the like button. So thanks so much for watching. That's what I got for you on Marathon, and I will see you in the next video.